Hello everybody, this is Peace Daddy. We are going to do a lesson today on multiples. And we've been in a series of lessons here about multiples. We've already completed this first research on common multiples. And today what we're going to do is we're going to do some more research on the lowest common multiple or the least common multiple. If you're working from home and you don't have the Montessori materials with you, then you can go to virtualmontessorimimaterials.com. And on virtualmontessorimimaterials.com, you'll see a lot of little pictures in rectangles. And one of the pictures is of a pegboard. So you can use the pegboard that's on their website, and you can follow along with me or listen to this lesson first and then go and find that website and that material in order to do the lesson. So here is my rug, and there's my pegboard. And the first thing that we're going to do is I am going to have a special race. We're gonna find a special multiple for 2 and 3. And I want to emphasize here that you need to have done the first 2 lessons and practice those a lot before you do this lesson, just to make sure that you're fairly comfortable with what a multiple is and what the term multiple means. You need to have lots of practice with that first before you do this work. So what we're going to do is I've got a little ticket laid out that has a 2 on it and a ticket laid out that has a 3 on it, and I'm going to put 2 pegs out under the number 2. So 2 pegs under the number 2. And I'm going to put 3 pegs out under the number 3. And then I'm going to take out 2 more green pegs and put them under the first 2. Do another group of 2. And then 3 more blue pegs. And we're going to stop when the 2 columns reach the same level. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Put 2 more there. Okay, so we've reached our goal. The pegs are at the same level. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pegs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pegs in the next column. So 6 is the first multiple that is made up of 2 and 3. So 6 is called the lowest common multiple, or the least common multiple. So the LCM, or the least common multiple of 2 and 3, is 6. And I've also made, just used some popsicle sticks here, and I've made something on the popsicle sticks that'll help you to visualize what's happening too. So every time there's a mark on the popsicle stick next to the green pegs, I put the number 2. because each 2 green pegs is what we're counting by. So 2, 4, 6 green pegs. And every time we have a group of 3 blue pegs, I've put a mark on the popsicle sticks and a 3 above it. So this is a group of 3, and this is another group of 3, which makes 6. So the least common multiple of 3 and 2 is 6. Okay, so I'm going to clear the board, and we're going to have another race. I like to think of them as races because we're trying to see who can get there first. All right, now in this race, we're going to have 3 players. There's going to be a 2, a 3, and a 4. Okay? So we are going to search for the lowest common multiple or least common multiple. You can use those terms interchangeably of 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to stop when all 3 of them have reached the same level. I'm going to do the 4 in red just so we can think about them a little bit differently. Okay, so far we're all different. We have the first multiple of each of them. Okay, so I have 2 multiples of 2 is 4, 2 multiples of 3 is 6, and 2 multiples of 4 is 8. So we're not at a point where we can stop because nothing's matching. And I could even look ahead and say, well, if I put 2 more here and 2 more here, I would get to 8. But if I put 3 more, that would make 9. So we can't stop yet. But we can fill this up to, we could do 2 more here and 2 more here to show that we know that at least that these 2 have a common multiple, but we've got to keep going because the next multiple of 3 is 9, see? So it's 1 too long, so that's not common, so they have to be common. So let's do another multiple of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now see I have 3 4s. I could mark it like this. There's 1 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 4s and 3 4s, right? And I have 1 3, 2 3s, 3 3s. And you could do the same thing with the 2s to show how they're progressing.
Mommy's
2 more of the green beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I made a discovery here. So the 2s and the 4s, this is the first multiple, second multiple, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4, 8, 12. And look, I have 3 more under the 3s, so I found it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they all stop right here at 12. So 12 is the least common multiple of 2 and 3 and 4. So we found out that two sets of numbers can have a least common multiple. We found out that 2 and 3, their least common multiple was 6, but you can also do a least common multiple for a set of 3 numbers, for 2, 3, and 4, and we found out that that number is 12. Okay? And I want to point out that if you are doing this work at home, or if you're in a classroom and you have your own Montessori materials, you could also orient your work this way. You know, you could turn the board to the side and you could make it go left and right like this. And you can look at it that way. And you can run your beads like this and see which one ends up on the right side of the board first. I chose to go top to bottom, but you can go left to right as well. So I'm gonna do that for the next one. I'm gonna make them go left to right. Now on the next one, I'm gonna change it and we're gonna make it a little more difficult. And we're also going to make the pegs on this example we just did. They didn't really have a hierarchical value, but this time the pegs are gonna have a hierarchical value. And what I mean by that is each green peg in this next example is gonna be worth 1, and each blue peg is gonna be worth 10. And we're not gonna get to the red pegs, but if we did get to the red pegs, they would be worth 100. So that's how you use this work when you're working with the pegs. And the numbers that we're gonna use are 24 and 32. So I'm gonna put the 24 just like that. And I'm gonna put the 32 below it like this. And these are much bigger numbers now, right? But we can still find the least common multiple, or the LCM, of large numbers like 24 and 32. So the way that we do that is we represent the 20 and 24 with a blue peg. That's a 10, and that's a 10. So that's 20. And the 4, we're gonna use 4 green pegs. We're just gonna put them right below the blue pegs. Now what happens is when you get to 10 green pegs, you have to make an exchange for a blue peg. And our goal is the same, just like before. We're trying to find the number where we stop, where the two numbers that we're trying to find the least common multiple for, where they end up at the same number. But we have to go in groups of 24, and we have to go in groups of 32. Just like before when we were doing a group of 2 or a group of 3, same thing. So there's my first group of 24 and my first group of 32. And we're not the same yet. Very different. 24 looks different from 32. So we need to keep going, right? So let's start with the 24, and we'll do another 20, 10, 20. And we'll do another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can count that up. 10, 20, 30, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 48. So 2 sets of 24 is 48. And now I got to do another set of 32. Let's see what happens here. 10, 20, 30, 2. So here we have two 24s and here we have two 32s. This is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 64. So 48 and 64 are not the same. So we have to keep going. So let's do another 24. Okay, so something happened here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so remember I said earlier, whenever you have 10 green pegs, you have to exchange them for a blue one. So I took 10 green pegs off, and I'm gonna replace it with a blue peg. So that represents 10. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 72. Okay, so this is the third multiple of 24 is 72. Now we've got to make the third multiple of 32. And I can already tell that it's not going to be 72 because that's 70 right there. 80, 90, 2. Okay, so keep going. 20, 4. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 96. Okay, so wait a minute. I think I made it. Yeah, we found it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the third multiple of 32 is 96, and the fourth multiple of 24 is 96. So the least common multiple of 24 and 32 is 96. Okay, so you can do that with any two set of numbers. You just choose two sets of numbers and you can find the least common multiple by having that, I like to call it a little race of multiples until you find the one that is common to both of them. And it has to be the first one that's common to both of them because we're going for the least common multiple. So that has been the lesson on the lowest common multiple or the least common multiple. And I want to say thank you for joining me. This has been Peace Daddy. See you next time.